Hello everybody, it is Ben back again, and sorry on the lateness of this video and the fact that it's going to be a one-taker because I haven't had a lot of time this week. I'm busy with the stuff with the school paper since I've been back, and still kind of busy tonight, but I wanted to make this because I was already pretty late. But we get to say something we haven't been able to say in almost a month, basically. We're going streaking. The Habs have won 2 in a row. Beating the Ottawa Senators 4-1 on Sunday, on Super Bowl Sunday, a couple days ago, and what a fun time it was. I actually missed the first period, but I watched the beginning of the second period on, and it was actually a fun game to watch, so let's get it started. Early on in the second, it doesn't start off all that well, because around 2 minutes in, Hoffman puts it in, makes it 1-0 Sens, but then Habs get right back on it, start pressure, and start getting some chances. Eventually, the Sherbak, Drouin, Galchenyuk line, which actually had been looking pretty hot for a lot of the game, not a lot, they went on to look hot for the rest of the game after I started watching, getting a bit of a scrum in front of the Ottawa net. This is where Drouin got his head bashed into the crossbar and post of the Ottawa net, but the penalty that Ottawa got on that play wasn't even that, it was from before, so that would put the Habs on the power play. And shortly thereafter, on that same power play, Erik Karlsson high sticks Jonathan Drouin in the mouth and makes him bleed, gets a double minor, and the Habs get a 5-on-3 power play, and Drouin just getting the shit kicked out of him after he had taken a slap shot to the back and had to go leave for the hospital. Coming back in, then has all that happen to him. But the Habs get the 5-on-3 power play. And they capitalize pretty quickly, actually. Patch wins, or the Habs win it back, and Habs win the draw. Patch gets it back to Petrie, blasts it past Condon, and really quickly on the 5-on-3, Habs tie up the game, and shortly thereafter, actually, on the first half of the Karlsson double minor that he got for making Drouin bleed, Lehkonen somehow manages to find like the smallest little spot above Condon's pad under his arm, like right. I can't do that. Anyway, finds the smallest spot I've ever seen a person find with a shot, and finally breaks his slump. I don't know how many games it was like 24 for him or something like that. I don't know. It was a lot. And finally breaks his goal-scoring slump and gives the Habs the lead. And I was excited because he got it within the first half of that double minor, so the Habs still had another 2 minutes of power play. But then they don't get anything on that second half. Although they kept pressure up, they kept putting it on Ottawa, but no goals. But then for a few minutes, play dies down a bit. Habs established some more presence in the Sens end with about 6-ish minutes to about 5.5 minutes left. But then a lot happens. I actually lost my feed that I was watching at this point with about 3 minutes left in the period. And I missed Lehkonen getting the second of the game on a nice shot. And Lehkonen 2 goals in the same game against the Sens. And the last time he scored was also against the Sens. He's only scored goals against the Sens this year. I don't know. But before the end of the second period, the Habs make it 3-1. And Plekanec's assist on that Lehkonen goal was his 600th point as a Hab. So if we do lose Plekanec at the trade deadline, which admittedly I kind of hope we do get some assets back, I'll be sad to see him go because he's been one of the longest termed Habs that I've seen in my lifetime, and one of the most consistently underrated Habs I've seen in my lifetime. But we get into the third period, and not a whole lot happening at first. Habs are up 3-1, and the Habs are currently outshooting the Senators 27-17 right at the beginning of the third. Then they kind of start to seem to be sitting back a bit, and I've seen that a few times before. I've seen that movie a few times, and usually doesn't go that great for the Habs. And sure enough, then Galley takes a slashing penalty with 12:46 left. But hey, Habs kill it, and kill it well. They look good on the penalty kill, and hit the midway mark of the period looking strong. Looks like they're going to lock it down. And with about a little over 3 minutes left, as Ottawa looks like they're gearing up to make the comeback bid, Chabot for Ottawa just whiffs on a pass, and it goes right to Plekanec about 10-15 feet out in front of Condon, and Plekanec just immediately gets the shot off, puts it past Condon before I even think Condon knew that was coming at him because it was just such a bad giveaway by Chabot, whatever his name is for the Senators. And that would be the final goal of the game. Habs win the game 4-1 against Senators. First time we've had a win streak. Well, win streak, it's just 2 games. But first time we had a win streak in a month, which was previously was also 2 games. So I'm still on the tank train. I still realize this season should be dedicated to maybe seeing what we got in some of the younger players like our Mete and our Sherbak, which both have been looking fantastic recently. Sherbak since he's been called up, and Mete has been really strong the last few games. And I also hope, for the most part, they lose most of the games for the rest of the season because Erasmus Dahlin would be nice. But you gotta admit, the 2 games in a row, the Ducks Sens games, 2 wins in a row, it was a great weekend just to kind of break up the just monotony and depression that has been this season. I was kind of glad to have that little break in there. But now we don't have another game till Thursday night against Philly, and they're currently in a pretty heated battle for a playoff spot in the Metropolitan because like everybody's within like 4 points of each other in that division, so that should be an interesting game. And hope for the best. I hope the Habs keep utilizing the rest of the season in the right ways, and they keep doing things like playing around with some of the younger guys like Sherbak. He's been pretty solid since he's been up. He's had a couple assists. Keep doing things like that. And I hope once trade deadline rolls around, we do end up moving on from a few people that are on expiring contracts if we can get some return. But that's a long ways away still. And until next time, I will see you guys later.